Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I am so excited to be here today with you again, the last Tuesday of the month of June. Ooh, boy, the year is going so fast. Happy Tuesday. And if it's at noon on Tuesday, now the last Tuesday of the month, it's time for Thinking Tuesday. So I'm so excited to be here with you again. And I'm hoping to share a message that I hope will add value and encourage each of you today. So, for those of you who are hearing about Thinking Tuesday for the first time, let me just share with you that this is a brief moment out of your busy day, and thank you for being here, just so that we can check in with our thoughts and to ensure that we're taking care to think thoughts that are healthy and empowering. Our thoughts are very important. And everything that we do begins with our thoughts, whether we believe it or not, whether we're aware of it or not. The messages for Thinking Tuesday are to help us realize that we're consciously and intentionally trying to cultivate a positive mindset to help us through this life journey. Okay? We have so much being bombarded with that we have to really take our thoughts captive and be really aware and intentional about what we allow ourselves to think, what we allow ourselves to take into our minds, where we have to set up guardrails so that we choose what we think and we choose what we allow ourselves to, what we allow to come into our consciousness. Okay. And our motto is your mind is a garden and your thoughts are the seeds. And you, yes, you, the gardener, can choose. You can choose whether you're going to grow flowers, which are those positive thoughts, that positive mindset, or you can choose whether you're going to grow weeds. And nobody wants weeds in their gardens. I know we're making a whole lot of effort, taking a whole lot of effort these days to ensure that the gardens that we spend so much time cultivating are not run over by weeds. Okay, and some weeds can look pretty, but a weed is a weed is a weed. So that's our motto because we want to emphasize how much control we have about what we think. And research shows that as human beings, we entertain approximately 60,000 thoughts per day. And about 90% of those thoughts are repetitive. So we have thoughts that we're repeating constantly in our minds. Sometimes we can't get off that treadmill. So be aware of what you're thinking. Our thoughts are really generated by a variety of things. They're generated by tasks we have to do, by our current environment, our living condition, our past experiences, our professional lives, what it is that we have to do, our relationships, feelings about ourselves, just to name a few. All of those things help to generate the thoughts that we have. And wow, that's a lot of thinking. But we do it so automatically that we don't even realize that we're having that many thoughts. However, many of them are random. So we might not even be aware that we're having those thoughts, as I was saying before. And some of them are intentional. We can be intentional about what we think. Yet, whether or not we're aware of them, whether they're random or if they're intentional, they do present results. They lead to results. And I know that you want to have good results. You want to have positive results. So when you watch your thinking and you decide what you want to think, it has a ripple effect and then it creates some results. So that's good news. That's good news. Our thoughts are always in the driver's seat because as we think, so we feel. And as we feel, so we do. And as we do, we're going to have some results. So it starts with our thoughts, it leads to our feelings. Because if you're thinking pleasant thoughts, it's going to lead you to have pleasant feelings, most likely. And those pleasant feelings are going to cause you to do pleasant things, good things. And then you have good results, pleasant results, excellent results. And the same thing happens on the other side, on the contrary. If you're having thoughts, negative thoughts, it's going to cause you to feel negatively. It's going to cause you to feel negative. And when we feel negative, we act in that way. Whether we're angry or we're frustrated or maybe even sad, and we respond similarly based on our feelings, and then we have a result. And many times we have results and we have no idea why we have that result. Why is this happening to me again? Well, check your thoughts and see, where did this begin. So it's so very important that we realize that we are more powerful. Our thoughts are in the driver's seat, and we can control the thoughts that we have. We can decide what we want to think, where we want to think, who we want to think about, what we want to think about, and how we're going to talk about it. So um, they dictate our feelings, as I said, which drive our behavior and lead to the results that we have. So many times it's not the other person's fault, as we try to say, oftentimes, but it's because we designed the results. We designed the results. We have the results based on our thinking. Now, I don't have to tell you, I really don't have to tell you how much anxiety there is out there these days with the coming elections and the possibility of some very serious and detrimental changes that it could bring. I'm hearing a lot about this in my practice, in my coaching, and in my psychotherapy practice. But I want to share with you today, and I can't emphasize it enough, that you also have control. You also have, there are things you can't control, but the things that you can control are your thoughts. You have control that you should exert. One obvious one is that you must get to the polls. You must get to the polls and vote. To vote with your feet. Vote with your feet. Just go make your voice heard. That's one thing. The other one is controlling how you manage those thoughts of anxiety, those thoughts of uncertainty, those thoughts of despair that I'm hearing a lot about in my practice. And you hear it on TV, you read it in the news. These are very anxiety producing times, no doubt about it. You have the power and the ability to interrupt any negative thought that you become aware of. Begin to train yourself to be aware of what you're thinking and why you're thinking what you're thinking. It's a very, very, very vital exercise. And to know that you have the ability, I do it all the time. I might find myself moving in a certain direction. I find a mood that's arising that I really don't care to deal with at the time, or I don't care for at all. So I have to switch my thinking. I have to, and it works. It does work. These are highly emotional times, like I said, and anxieties and frustrations are very high, but you are not powerless. That's the good news. You are not powerless. I want to share with you an exercise that I use in my coaching. One of the methods of coaching that I use is neuroencoding, which helps us to learn how to default, program our thoughts, actually, program our thoughts to default to our best behavior, to the best results. And this exercise that I want to share with you today is called the stop technique. When you find yourself feeling anxious, frustrated, angry, or fearful, any of those unresourceful feelings that you have, the stop technique is a good technique to learn and to do. And you don't just wait until the situation arises, you practice it. You practice it so that you can become versed in it and it automatically becomes your default uh, uh, um, behavior. So, what I'd like you to do is to make a list of 3 to 5 things in your life, present or past, that makes you feel good, makes you feel happy, makes you feel excited, that generates a lot of excitement, even, right? And then I want you to choose an experience that makes you upset, very upset, even angry, maybe even sad. And I want you to think about that experience until you create that feeling. But I don't want you to hold on to it too long. I just want you to bring yourself to that experience. Whatever that experience was that made you feel angry, sad, frustrated, or whatever. And then I want you to intentionally stop yourself. You can even say the word stop. Do something to anchor yourself, to move yourself away from that thought. But then I want you to put a great big smile on your face. I want you to take a deep breath. And then I want you to immediately replace that thought with one of those happy, exciting experiences from your list. You can use one and get used to using that one for a while before you change. You don't have to use all of them at once, but you want to have a list ready that you don't have to think about what it is. You can just pick one. So you want to get a great big smile on your face. You want to take a deep breath, and then you want to choose one of those happy experiences to replace the thought that you had, the unresourceful thought, that negative thought that you have. And I want you to keep that big smile on your face and keep that thought in your mind for about 20, 30 seconds. Really make yourself go to that place where you're remembering what it was, you're feeling happy, you're feeling good. Oh, you wish you could be there again, and you're bringing yourself back there. And then I want you to try to shift back to the previous unresourceful thought that you had, that angry thought, that sad thought, that frustrating or anxiety producing thought. You may find that it's not easy to get back to that feeling because you've created a vacuum by by interrupting that thought initially and replacing it with a big smile and taking a deep breath and replacing it with that positive feeling. You created a vacuum, and it's going to be difficult for that negative feeling to reoccupy that space. You've created a vacuum that was once occupied, and you have filled it with pleasant thoughts. Now, this might not happen automatically, and really quickly, but you have to practice it. What you're doing is that you are trying to move yourself from one state of thinking to another, which is going to engender, better feelings to replace the negative one that you had. It's something that you have to practice. It's like building a muscle. Try this exercise at least 3 times daily for 10 days. And what it is just feeling bad on purpose. You're going to take yourself to that unresourceful space. Feeling bad on purpose. Don't hold on to it long. And then quickly interrupt that pattern. Interrupt that pattern and replace it with a happy thought from that list that you created. And you should increase the rapidity of the change, because you start out slowly, but then you increase how quickly you move from one to the other, always ending on the positive one. And as you increase going back and forth, you will find that it's easier for you to get to the place that you want to go. And what you're doing essentially is you're encoding your mind in a way that you're allowing yourself to consciously and intentionally control how and what you think, so that the thought and the experience that you want will become your default when you find yourself in a negative thought pattern or when you meet with undesirable situations. Don't wait to use this exercise when you get in a bad place. It should become your automatic default when those situations arise, but you have to practice it. Allowing yourself to intentionally get to a place where you feel bad on purpose, replacing it, big smile on your face, take a deep breath, holding it, getting yourself back to that really exciting, happy place, before you go back to the unresourceful state. So it's really vital that we realize and embrace the inner power that we all have, that we can draw on purposefully in times of difficulty, to reduce our anxiety and other unresourceful states that we find ourselves into, that may cause uh, us to act in ways that lead to undesirable results. Because, as I said before, as I think, so I feel, and as I feel, so I do, and as I do, so I have those results. So you are trying to uh, program your thoughts, program your thoughts to default to your best behavior. Whatever you decide what you want the outcome to be, program your thoughts. If you'd like to learn more about these techniques, please feel free to go to my website, Dr. Cheryl Burton. This is a way to help you manage those unresourceful thoughts and feelings that take you nowhere that you really want to go, right? So go to my website, drcherylburton.com, and reach out to me if you'd like a consultation around this to learn more about these techniques. And if you found this message to be helpful, like I always say, well, don't hoard it. Don't hoard hoard it. Don't hold it to yourself. Share it with someone who you feel could benefit from it also. And I like I said, in these days, we can all benefit from this type of technique, right? Um, this, as well as all of my previous Thinking Tuesday messages, are stored on my YouTube channel, which is Thinking Tuesday, Cheryl Burton. So you can find this one later today, as well as previous ones on that channel. And remember, I really have to emphasize that your mind is a garden and your thoughts are the seeds, and you, the gardener, yes, you can decide whether you plant flowers, as we just showed how to do, or plant weeds. And take captive of your thoughts and really know that you have the power to change your life if you change your thoughts. It all begins with your thoughts. So I look forward to seeing you in July, the last Tuesday of July. And I hope that you will really take heed to this message, practice the stop technique, call me, contact me through my website. I'd love to have a consultation with you if you're trying to get more techniques of how to manage those thoughts and those feelings, because they will end up giving you results, and you always want those results to be positive. So take care. Have a wonderful rest of the week. And I look forward to seeing you in July on the last Tuesday at noon for another message on Thinking Tuesday. Take care and bye for now. Great speaking to you again. Bye.